FG meditation is an innovative and effective method which is free from the ideological attachments of other meditative methods. This method was abbreviated as FG meditation for Farshad's Geometric Meditation and created by Farshad Nazaraghaei. Let's now describe the complete session of FG meditation stage by stage in detail. First, enhance the body awareness by doing some stretching and contracting exercises. Standing in each position and doing 5 deep and gentle breathing cycles, you go back to the balance and observe the process of breathing is getting slow, the density of attention increasing, and attend to the bodily sensational sediments as the outcome of these exercises. The proper posture for doing most of FG meditation techniques is sitting on the chair, and for some techniques, lying down. Sit on the chair so that your neck and your head elongate on the direction of the natural curvature of the spine. Place your palms on your thighs and keep your eyes closed while being completely silent. Do several active and triplex breathing cycles deeply and gently based on abdominal, thoracic, and shoulder breathing. Now, separately follow the vocal stimuli through the left auditory canal and focus to listen to each sound for a short period. Shift the attention to the next sound. Then follow the sounds through the right auditory canal. Now, focus your attention on different parts of your body and attend to the movements created by breathing as well as bodily sensations in each zone. Attend first to the abdominal cavity and follow abdominal muscle movements. Be aware of all movements occurring in chest and ribs. Attend to the slight shoulder movements and feel the area on which the eyelids touch the eyeballs. Attend to your whole face. Feel the palms and then soles of the feet. Remove contraction from your shoulders and shoulder blades and be aware of the relaxation throughout your body. Attend to the horizontal direction of the breathing muscles movements and do the same as what is mentioned before about HLC technique or horizontal linear concentration. After doing some active abdominal breathing cycles, leave this sort of breathing and let it continue on its own and spontaneously. When the scope of your attention covering abdominal area is reduced, then you find tracing of the abdominal muscle movements difficult. Now you feel no abdominal muscles movements and the breathing is becoming temporarily still and placid. So, linear breathing or pointed attention is now experienced. Be aware of the attentional sediments quality and compressed attention in this point. Observe inside the head. Be aware of the feeling of extensiveness, deliverance, expansion, emptiness, lightness, and then generalize and expand the area you attend to other parts of your body. Disappearance of the borderlines between your body and surroundings makes you feel you are expanding into the atmosphere around. Pay attention again to the short and slight impulses on the abdominal muscles. Reach the second stage of linear breathing or pointed attention. Transfer your attention to the areas where your body is touching the chair and your feet are touching the floor. Gradually, increase the depth of breathing. Have an explicit attention to the sounds around you. Move your arms and hands gently from your fingers to your shoulders and shoulder blades. Cross your fingers and stretch your arms up forward. Raise your arms and stretch them up while deeply inhaling. Lower your arms while deeply exhaling. Stay in this posture for a short period. Open your eyes slowly and be aware of the density of attention on your visual, auditory, and tactile sense, and focus on your skin, your muscles, and your whole body. Open your eyes and bring your attention to your sight essence. Observe the migration of your attention moving from the body and the auditory sense to the visual sense. Place your palms on your eyes, ears, heart, abdominal cavity, and your sides, and be aware of the enjoyable warm feeling flowing from palms towards these parts and vice versa. Then, touch your face, ears, and finally place them gently on your thighs. Follow all the steps as the previous technique in order to achieve concentration and and to use this concentration for the experience of deeper deliverance and relaxed state. Attend to exhalation and focus on muscles being stretched down and dropped towards the gravity, which, based on the process of harmony with ideomotor phenomenon, let the body experience heaviness and surrender it to pulls away towards the gravity. Feel the weight of your upper side transferred downward to the lower parts and accumulated there stage by stage while exhaling. At last, the weight of your whole body is accumulated in the soles of your feet and then is transferred into the ground. Return your attention inside your head to the feeling of weightlessness, lightness, and finally disappearance of heaviness. Engaging the normal attentional flow into concentration procedure without involving the mind to form specific kinds of attention. Breathing in the second stage of GSBB meditation techniques is based on the spontaneous pattern without being involved in the process and changing the depth, intensity, and the numbers of breaths. Attention mostly settles in the main stage of these techniques exactly at the point which is placed on the direction of the longitudinal symmetry line of the body. In all techniques, breathing finally becomes tranquil and placid. Getting the pointed concentration stage occurs in all hyperbolic and linear concentrations and also in some conical concentration techniques. In each technique, attention spreads consciously from pointed state to three-dimensional state throughout the body after settling at pointed concentration stage or no breath stage, and then intermittent observation of the head, trunk, and whole body occur. There is a harmony and coordination between the mind, breathing, and the body in all techniques. Geometric forms mostly manifest themselves in accordance with longitudinal symmetry line of the body. The attention element stays with the body and the breath throughout the technique. In this technique, expansion and contraction of abdominal cavity are organized in a sphere form. You feel expansion and contraction of a sphere in a larger domain while inhaling and exhaling actively. However, when you let breathing happen spontaneously, the expansion and contraction range of the sphere gradually becomes smaller and it stops temporarily when it gets to the same volume as the abdominal cavity is in its normal state. If you attend to the center of your head while the abdominal cavity is expanding and contracting as a sphere, the same effect is increasingly felt as expansion and contraction on the sides of the head, temporal lobes, and sides of the eye sockets. Now, These subtle vibrations and delicate abdominal breathing effects in the form of a sphere could be organized inside the head so that they expand while inhaling and contract while exhaling, simultaneously attending to both forms. The sphere in the abdominal cavity as well as inside the head is called BSC or bispheric concentration. Now feel the volume inside the abdominal cavity fluctuating while inhaling and exhaling, and feel this effect as a sphere which penetrates into the head. Now feel that breathing finally becomes slow and shallow after taking a number of active breathing cycles, and then it turns into the relaxed and placid state. At last, the sphere in the abdominal cavity reaches its own usual volume of what it has in rest state. Those conical concentrative techniques which occur in the abdomen, the thoracic cage, the neck, and the head are performed horizontally and vertically, all lead to pointed concentration and temporary breathing hold. Oscillation of cones in conical concentrations superposes completely with the spherical concentration, and reduction of the range fluctuation of the cone's volume happens in the same manner. These concentrations probably affect real blood circulation in different parts of the body. They cause an increment of the rate change of blood circulation in some parts of the body while the cones are being formed. Among all changes, change in the blood volume can be pointed in the lower, upper, frontal, and the back areas of the brain, as well as the two brain hemispheres simultaneously as one unit. Different parts of the body as trunk, neck, and head are also considered. Be aware of how the cone appears in abdominal cavity. Also, observe the cones being formed at the thoracic cavity and see shrinking the size as they become relaxed and reduced. Each cone appears under the effect of abdominal or pectoral breathing. In these concentrations, each cone appears while inhaling and disappears while exhaling. Attend again how cones appear from the heart of the sphere. While inhaling occurs in the abdominal cavity, two cones towards the sides expand and then compress. Also, look at two cones simultaneously fluctuating in conformity with the sternum, while pectoral and abdominal breathing happen. The cones inside the head form from the heart of the sphere in the skull and laterally fluctuate in two sides of the head. Finally, when breathing becomes placid, the cone's volume becomes fixed as that of the size of natural abdominal cavity volume. But what exists beyond the present challenge between the thinkers of internalism and externalism is the mind-body problem. How are the mind and the body influenced, and how they relate to each other? FG meditation techniques, in a special perspective or manner, show how the mind connects to the body and coordinates with it. Geometric Somatic-Breathing Based Meditation is where rationality and humanistic emotions, as well as the mind and the body, are joined, and also reason and feeling meet each other. Meeting place is a specific part of the body. The vehicle is breathing. A geometric shape is the mediator of this meeting, and the attention element is the driver. Would it be possible to instigate flexible and delicate emotional feelings in human with rigid and inflexible geometric forms? In geometric somatic breathing based meditation, as the delicate emotions and feelings are released, rigid geometric forms turn into the emotional and attractive subjects. In these techniques, the cones appear from the heart of sphere. Two cones, while inhaling, expand under the effect of abdominal breathing and contract while exhaling. Finally, they fade and become as a point. The same process happens again with the cones superposing the thoracic cavity and the bilateral cones inside the head. However, the domain of cones expansion becomes smaller, and finally breathing becomes slowest and shortest as the cone's volume reaches zero at both inhalation and exhalation process. These concentrative techniques focus on one cone while it is being formed during inhalation, and on another cone which is reversely being formed while exhaling. The cones appear and disappear in accordance with the fixed and static points on the direction of longitudinal symmetry line of the body. Now, attend to the vertical cones being formed and reaching to the pointed concentrations in different areas of the abdominal cavity, thoracic cage, neck, and head. In the beginning of GSBB meditation, intrusive thoughts may occur and distract your attention while you are following the geometric paths. In this condition, without engaging, extending, or identifying with thoughts, continuously observe them in detached state. Without controlling the thoughts or trying to stop them while they appear in the mind, simply stand as a passive and detached observer to the thoughts. At the beginning of GSBB meditation, just follow the geometric paths marked before, without engaging your thoughts and expanding them. In case of being spontaneously immersed in thoughts, return your attention immediately to the geometric paths. It is possible to return your attention to the geometric paths only when your thoughts are not extensively scattered and disturbed. Similar to vertical biconical concentrations, attend to how horizontal cones are forming inside the abdominal cavity and the head. The way these horizontal cones are formed is similar to the way fluctuations are formed when water is in a moving container. This technique is performed the same as the hyperbolic concentrations. However, there are two differences in this technique. First, instead of expandable hyperbolic angles, conical figures are used in this concentration. Second, the attention settles at a point at the end of this technique. In this concentrative method, along with the first breathings, the size of cones are as big as the size of thighs and legs, and their size slowly becomes smaller. At last, the cones turn into a point in the knees region. This technique is performed as you saw in the previous concentration. In this technique, along with the first breathings, the size of cones are as big as the size of forearms and arms, and gradually their size is reduced and becomes smaller. At last, the cones turn into a point in the elbows region. In these techniques, observe the complete superposition of surface circular concentrations with solid spherical concentrations and see how they appear from the heart of sphere volume in horizontal, lateral, and vertical surface. In the beginning, you see that more circles form inside and outside the surface. However, the slower breathing becomes, the fewer the number of circles become, and finally, there is only a single circle representing the last border of the abdominal cavity. Now, you enter the stage where breathing is halted temporarily. In this concentrative technique, attend how the sphere forms inside the abdominal cavity while inhaling and how the cone forms at the beginning of the nasal canal while exhaling. Leave the body from the beginning of the nasal canal while exhaling and settle in the center of your existence, the center of the abdominal cavity, while inhaling. In active breathing stage, both sphere volume and conical volume are bigger. However, both are gradually becoming smaller and more compressed and reduced. Finally, they become smallest as they are in a very shallow breathing stage. This is a plantar linear concentration practiced in a special manner to achieve the experience of expanding. The attention moves up while inhaling, aligned with subtle vibrations out of ribs and thoracic cage movements, and moves down to the same direction while exhaling. The attention here hits the center of the abdominal cavity like a raindrop hitting the center of a pond, and moves outside in concentric circles to the abdominal cavity borderlines or beyond its borders. In this stage, you are so integrated and identified with each circle moving out that you find yourself as exactly as those circles expanding outside. Characteristics of Geometric Somatic-Breathing Based Meditation: being logical, objective, and realistic with high emotional potentials. Free from any ideological attachments. It does not lead to superstition. Completed over a short period of time and easy for most people. Altered states of consciousness and meditative rapture are experienced in each session of FG meditation, based on ideomotor phenomenon in order to expand muscles and emotional relaxation after reaching to the pointed concentration. Concentrative anchor or subject matter is extremely attractive in this meditation. Ability of directing the modulated attention, attaining out of geometric concentrations towards tranquility, mental silence, relaxation, introspection, self-knowledge, stress management, internal deliverance, and therapeutic inductions in FG meditation. Ability of using the concentration developed in this method in order to accelerate all other trance-induced methods such as hypnosis, and to create a new branch or school with the combination of two techniques, meditation and hypnosis, or hypnomeditation. Having all characteristics of a comprehensive meditation in order to encourage a person deeply concentrate with the aim of making him well prepared to encounter thoughts and to moderate emotional burden, also to make possible observation of all other mental dimensions, contents, and processes. Having a suitable background, disposition, and complement to deal with the meditations based on mindfulness and immediacy. Having some principles of a basic philosophy and powerful theory to form a field to reinforce the foundation of an interdisciplinary branch of geometry based on emotion and breathing, or fuzzy geometry, providing extensive realm of agendas for the scientific research around this style of meditation and its effects on the brain, nervous system, physiology, psychosomatic disorders, psychology, psychotherapy, medicine, and cognitive sciences, and comparing its effects with other meditative styles. Spacious plains, how very open, mountains, how very high. What a scent of grass in Golestane. I, in this village, am in search of something. A dream, maybe, a ray of light, a handful of sand, a smile. Behind the poplar trees, innocent heedlessness was calling me. By a tree bed, I waited. A wind was blowing. I listened. Who was talking to me? A lizard slithered by. I set out. A clover field by the roadside. A cucumber patch, colorful bushes, and the forgetfulness of the earth. By a stream, I slipped off my slippers and sat, my feet in water. How alive I am today. My whole body throbs with life. I hope no grief looms behind the mountains. Who lurks behind the trees? No one. In the field, a cow grazes. High moon in summer. The shadow knows what a summer this is. Spotless shadow. A corner bright and clean. Children of feeling, the place to play is here. Life is not empty. Kindness exists. Apple exists. Faith exists. Yes. As long as poppies bloom, life must be lived. In my heart, there is something like a blaze of light, like asleep at dawn, and I so restless that I long to run to the end of the plain, to climb to the top of the mountain. In the distance, there is a voice who calls me.